Good morning and welcome to Coffee with Alain. We are on our Saturday, so we're going to talk about books. Got these two books today, Garfield, Bigger Than Life, Jim Davis, and that's the third collection of his, so they're sort of older. We got Camino Island, a John Grisham novel. As you know, I've been reading quite a few John Grisham novels. I had quite a few of them in my bookshelves and sort of donating them off after I read them. So those are the two books, John Grisham, Camino Island, and Garfield's Bigger Than Life, his third book. Those are on the agenda. Drinking out of a Tigger mug. Because, those were books before they became cartoons and all sorts of other stuff. So that's what I'm drinking out of. Do these shows on Saturdays with books to encourage you to read more. You can read stuff that I share. Might share something you're like, oh, I want to read that. Wonderful. Might just inspire you to read something else. And that's what I really want to do. Read for enjoyment, read for education. Read the newsletter that goes out every weekend. You can get it at enjoylifesafely.com. Tips on staying safe, defending yourself, enjoying life, living with the warrior's edge and being exceptional. All sorts of good stuff in there to make your life better. So get that at enjoylifesafely.com. Now let's look at Garfield, Bigger Than Life. This is his third book. They're older. I like this. It's full color of his comic strips. So if you like Garfield, these are fun books. And I did notice something, reading these older ones. I think some of these might have been way back in the 80s or so. Yeah, 1981 when some of these strips were coming out originally. I don't know if they would do these the same in modern world. They probably get mad at people for doing some of the stuff he did back then. I thought it was funny. For example, him kissing the veterinarian after she said no. People get all upset over that these days. They tried to cancel the song Baby It's Cold Outside a couple of years ago. But, it's funny, and he gets his, and Garfield makes his snide comments. So there's just stuff like that. And, I've forgotten that, sometimes Garfield eats the pets, cat, the birds. There's one in here where he said, yeah, I went to the vet. I sat by somebody with a $300 parakeet or bird or whatever. And I ended up paying $300 for Garfield's lunch. Okay. So, some of those, might not fly in today's world, but I'm old. I thought they were funny. I thought they were funny back in the 80s. I still think they're funny. It was fun to just reminisce and read this. Now I'm going to pass it on and, somebody else can enjoy it. I do want to say good morning to Dixon. Dixon here. Dixon says, I do look forward to your newsletter each Sunday. Thank you, Dixon. I appreciate that. I try to put stuff out that will help people. I tell some stories. I give action tips to help make your life better, things to keep you safe, strategies and things to think about to defend yourself, and then just want you to go out and enjoy more of life. Second book that we can enjoy, Camino Island by John Grisham. If you've read a lot of John Grisham legal thrillers, this is completely different. It's not, there's no lawyers and legal stuff going on necessarily here. I really liked it because it was about books. Oh, surprise, surprise. I like something about books. The premise is there's an old manuscript, Fitzgerald, that is stolen. And then it's passed on to, different ways. And then they're trying to get this manuscript back, and they take a young author to try to go in and go undercover to find out some things about a book dealer. So there's just a lot about authors and books and old books and first editions and signed books and manuscripts. And so I just enjoyed that world because obviously I love books. So John Grisham is a fantastic writer. It's just a good story. I will say the ending and the wrap up, sort of a letdown. It got tidied up a little bit too neat and quickly at the end. So I was expecting a little bit more, but it was still a fun read, especially because it was in the book world with authors and book signings and tours and publishing and old manuscripts and old books and first editions and all of that kind of stuff was woven into the story. So I liked Camino Island quite a bit. So those are the two books this week. A fun comic strip, collection of the Garfield comic strips, full color. If you like Garfield, they're just fun, and I like Garfield, so I enjoyed it. I really like John Grisham. I really like the book world and that whole setting. So I liked Camino Island. Sort of made me want to go to a little island off Florida and open a bookshop. Guess what a life that would be. So those are the two books this week. Hope you check them out or check something else out and just read more and read the newsletter. Now, you notice, new cast. Yeah, yesterday I joked about I didn't know how the doctor was going to pull the pin out, maybe just take a pair of pliers and yank it out. Well, guess what he did? He took a pair of pliers, he sort of twisted it a little and pulled it out. That's how the pin came out. Very little blood, a little bit of blood. He dabbed it. Then he had his assistant come in and give me this new cast. So I'll be wearing this and teaching in this for the next few months. One thing I learned last time I had one of these casts before the surgery is you got to be careful with this rough material on certain shirts. And I found out with one of my $120 Tommy Bahama shirts, it can snag on it. So I do know now when I'm wearing especially nicer clothes to be very careful, because this rough material will snag on your shirt and pull out little things. And so you don't want that. So that's just one more little thing I got to be aware of wearing this. And I got to figure out just how I'm going to do a few things with classes coming up, but we're going to do it. That's what I do. Got to drive forward. If you're going through difficult times, be sure to check out enjoylifesafely.com. Besides the newsletter, you can get the book, Still Standing, How to Get Back Up When Life Knocks You Down. I've been hearing some good things by people that have really been getting some value from that. You can download it free. Downloading it free will automatically get you the newsletter. You'll also get an invitation to sign up for the Still Standing course, where I go deeper into strategies and motivation and different things to help you get back up, drive forward with resilience, regardless of what has you down. So check all of that stuff out at enjoylifesafely.com. Get yourself a book. Do a little bit of reading as you enjoy this Labor Day weekend. Make it a super spectacular Saturday. We'll be back and see you tomorrow.